welcome back to my channel, students. So this is Tulika Sengupta, and today I will be reading your 8th chapter, The Tale of Melon City by Vikram Seth from your book Snapshots, class 11. So before starting the poem, we have something about the poem. The following poem is taken from Mapping, which was published in 1981 and included in collected poems of Vikram Seth. The king in his poem is just and placid. Does the carry his notion of justice a bit too far? After Idris Shah starts the poem. In the city of which I sing, there was a just and placid king. The king proclaimed an arch should be constructed that triumphantly would span the major thoroughfare to edify spectators there. The workmen went and built the thing. They did so since he was the king. The king rode down the thoroughfare to edify spectators there. Under the ark he lost his crown. The ark was built too low. A frown appeared upon his placid face. The king said, "This is a disgrace. The chief of builders will be hanged." The rope and gallows were arranged. The chief of builder was let out. He passed the king. He gave a shout. "Oh, king, it was the workman's fault." "Oh," said the king, and called a halt to the proceedings. "Being just and placid now," he said, "I must have all the workmen hanged instead." The workmen looked surprised and said, "Oh, king, you do not realize the bricks were made of wrong size." "Summon the mason," said the king. The mason stood there quivering. "It was the architect," they said. The architect was summoned. "Well," architect said, "His Majesty, I do ordain that you shall be hanged," said the architect. "Oh, king, you have forgotten one small thing. You made certain amendment to the plan when I showed them to you." The king heard this. The king saw red. In fact, he nearly lost his head. But being a just and placid king, he said, "This is a tricky thing. I need some counsel. Bring to me the wisest man in the country." The wisest man was found and brought, nay, carried to the royal court. He could not walk and could not see. How old and therefore wise was he. But in a quivering voice he said, "The culprit must be punished. Truly the ark was the banished, the crown fall off, and it must be hanged." To the scaffold the ark was led, when suddenly a counselor said, "How can we hang so shamefully? Was what touched your head?" "The Majesty, your Majesty." "True," smushed the king. By now the crowd, restless, was muttering aloud. The king perceived their mood and trembled and said to all who were assembled, "Let us postpone consideration of finer points like guilt. The nation wants a hanging. Hanged must be someone." And that immediately the noose was set up somewhat high. Each man was measured by and by. But only one man was so tall he fitted. One man, that was all. He was the king. His Majesty was therefore hanged by royal decree. "Thank goodness he found someone," said the ministers, "for if instead he had not, the unruly town might well have turned against the crown." "Long live the king," the ministers said. "Long live the king. The king is bead." They pondered the dilemma. Them being practical-minded men, sent out the heralds to proclaim, "In his former Majesty name, to the next to pass the city gate, will choose the ruler of our state. As is our custom, this will be enforced with due ceremony." A man passed by the city gate. "An idiot!" the guard cried. "Wait!" Who is to be the king? Decide. A melon, the idiot replied. This was his standard answer to all question. He liked Melon, you are now our king, the ministers said, crowning a melon. Then they led the melon to the throne and reverently set it down. This happened years and years ago, when now you ask the people, so your king appeared to be a melon. How did this happen? They say, well, on account of customary choice, if his king rejoice. Is being a melon, that's okay with us, for who are we to say what he should be as long as he leaves us in peace and liberty? The principles of laissez-faire seems to be well established there. So this was your whole chapter. If you like my narration, please do like, share and subscribe my video. And as I have completed your book Snapshot, I will start explaining the chapters in Hindi as well. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.